What's up, guys? It's NottheWinner with another build video today. Last time we went for a tanky DR build that is really focused on just having lower hit points to increase your DR to a true maximum while focusing on regen. And I've found ways to improve that regen since, without even talking about the generating band that we've included. We are getting more regeneration from things like our Tranquil Heart and from our Summoner buff, just purely because we've maxed out our Medic now, which is going to get us the trait Triage for increased healing. So first of all, let's go over what the build is now. This is focused purely on generating shields to stay as high up on our regeneration as possible. So right now we have the one for spending stamina. So whenever we're rolling, dodging, or running through enemies, we're going to be generating shields up to a max of 50%. And then we also have Ring of Crisis. So if our health does drop below 25%, then we're going to go ahead and get a shield stacked on there to buy us some time to regenerate faster. Now, whenever we have a shield active, we are regenerating 3% of our max health per second. So it's going to constantly keep our health going up. And then we do have our Hardened Coil here to reduce incoming damage by 3% for every 10% of missing health, max of 15%. But the idea of this is just so that you're going to be able to get that extra tankiness. Now, as you guys can see, we're pushing at 86% DR without even taking into account the Hardened Coil yet. So if you would like, you could take some points off of Bark Skin and put yourself at exactly 80% because it does say the max is 80. But for now, we can pass that max. If you were wanting to go below 80, one thing that you could do is you could swap this ring out here for the vacuum seal. It's gonna basically, whenever you pick up scrap, iron, or ammo, generate a shield for yourself. So while you're picking up ammo during fights, you're constantly generating a shield. Really good thing if the tankiness isn't doing enough for you and you just want to have shields up basically all the time. You could also go for tightly wound coil if you're using up your magazine extremely quickly. There is the ring that gives you 10% shield, excuse me, whenever you use a skill. That one can also be extremely useful for maximizing your potential shields, but I think this one's going to work out quite nicely for us. And we are running Twisted Idol to increase our armor effectiveness and reduce encumbrance once again, because we want to keep our weight in the heavy range while still being extremely tanky as a base level. So that's very effective for us. You can, of course, swap this out if you feel like you don't need to be tankier. But since we're on Apocalypse, we typically do like being tankier. And you could swap this out for something that gives you more damage while shields are active. Another thing that we're doing here is the shield breaker effect on my melee weapon. Now, my melee is not upgraded. I typically never use melee, but melee attacks grant a shield for 3.4% of your max health, max of 34%. So it doesn't matter how powerful the hit is. It's literally just any hit. Now, when this is maxed out at plus 10, it is stronger, and you can use charged melee attacks to use up all your shield for increased damage, which is pretty nice for someone who's generating a lot of shields. But this is more focused on getting the shield for us so that we can be tankier. And if you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies, you can just use a very fast attacking melee weapon with the shield breaker effect and basically get off tons and tons of hits before the enemies know what's happening, and you're shielded up in an instant. So this is all about building shield as quick as possible. Now, Dreamcatcher is probably not the best melee weapon for it, but I just enjoy having it on. It looks kind of cool. We're running the Nightfall gun, which is great with the Refunder perk, but the main gun that we're using is Enigma with the Bandit perk, so the ammo's going right back into the gun to continue firing at all times. So as far as traits go, this was one that a lot of people asked about in my last video. What traits am I running? And I've actually leveled up a couple different archetypes since. As you guys can tell over here on my class thing, we're up to 80 total archetype level out of the 100 that there is. Or is it? No, it's 110. So where we're at right now, I'm running Fortify for 50% armor effectiveness, 2 points in long shot just to increase the range of the Enigma gun for certain boss fights, regrowth for the bonus health regeneration, triage for the bonus healing from all healing, which also applies to health regeneration. That way we can get our health regeneration over 10 points per second because we're stacking things like the healing effectiveness bonus from solid healing effectiveness +2, but also 2.3 health regeneration per second on this. And then we're getting 1.5 from this, which is 3.8. That's actually getting a 50% modifier, so we're sitting at a 5.6 health per second. And then whenever a shield's active, we're getting even more health per second from this. Pretty nuts there. Going over the other skills, we did actually pick up the Invaders bonus Untouchable here for 30% invulnerability window. So basically, whenever we're dodging, higher chance of getting a perfect dodge where we're not taking any damage. Super ideal if you want to be one, surviving on higher difficulties, because yeah, you can't just face tank every single hit. You will have to dodge every once in a while. So this allows you to dodge so you can actually begin getting your health back and stay safer for longer. Vigor for the bonus health, Bark Skin for the bonus damage reduction, Siphoner for the life steal, and Shade Skin for the elemental damage reduction. Some people were asking about elemental damage reduction. Well, this works fine against elemental damage because guess what? You have resistance 10 and everything along with the elemental damage reduction. You can also run Leto 1 if you're focused on more resistances rather than higher armor. Very useful set that you can buy in the armor shop once you've, I believe it's once you've unlocked Leto 2 it shows up there, but it's been in my shop for a while. I can't confirm for sure. So let's go into Le Somme. We're on Apocalypse difficulty, as you see down there. We're going to go on over here, and let's just go into the Palace Courtyard checkpoint there. Ugh. And let's try out how the build feels against some of these beefier mobs. And I don't have my summon out right now. We're literally just going to be going with what we got. But as you can see, I take damage like that. I haven't even tried generating a shield yet. If we start rolling, then I start regenerating faster. Look at how quickly my health is coming back. And I just kind of... You can take most of the hits. And still, I haven't gone below 25% to worry about the shield one. That puts me the additional shield for my faster regeneration. There it is. Went below 25% for a second. Got a huge shield there. And then started regenerating right away. Got a new shield right there. And it's just constant, like, it just won't let me reload. And we get a huge dodge window now, so we can actually dodge if we choose to. And then killing these is pretty easy. Now, there are beefier mobs along the way here, and I am currently running the healer trait that allows me to put 100% shield on myself at any moment. And if I ran out, like, with a beefy tank here, I'll kill this bigger guy first so you guys can actually see the build a little. Where is he? Where is he? Hello? He's normally in this room. That is super weird. Every single time I've come here before, we've had a big beefy guy with a sword standing in this room. Huh. Alright, well, let's just summon the bigger guy here. And we got ourselves a nice tank now. But yeah, still face tanking all the normal mobs, you know, like the occasional dodge. But it's not like it's like, ooh, gotta save my life dodge. It's more just like, just kind of vibing. Let all these ones break out. He seems to be stuck. Alright, my summon's not doing anything. I'll send him away. There should be another big boy down here at least. But see, like, even tanking the heavy damage from the bigger elites there. Let's go ahead and finish off all those guys. Perfect, thank you. Ooh, bad dodge on the last one. But yeah, overall not too bad. As you guys can see, it does tank all these elites, doesn't really have a problem against most enemies, and really just like allows you to move through on the highest difficulties without too much of a threat. You're still tanky like you were before, while also having the benefit of getting these shields when you need them. Now, obviously, compared to the previous build, one of the major differences here is just 2 items. We're adding on 1 additional effect from the shield breaker here, We are swapping in, obviously right now we're running medic, but we could easily just run engineer if we wanted to throw it on turrets. But we're swapping in the triage trait to increase our healing even further, the untouchable trait to increase our evade window. So we're dodging more, we're healing faster, and then we're generating shields, which increases our healing rate anyways. So the stamina gain with the generating band is the major difference in the builds. And I think it works pretty well, to be honest. Now, let me, I guess, try and bring us to a boss fight. I will, I guess, get the feather over here, or the quill, to draw with. And then we're just going to do a quick wipe where we're about to start a boss fight, and I'll see y'all over there. All right, so we're at a couple of the bosses now. I decided to use speed up because the bosses do take a little bit longer with the tankier builds, but they're still pretty easy. As you'll see in this first one, each time he tries to damage me, I'm tearing through and just immediately healing up any of his damage. Even when he uses his big cannon, it's not enough to take me down. And even if it can take me down to 25%, I get that shield and then immediately start healing up as it runs out. So this boss doesn't deal enough damage output to take me down, even if he wanted to, so this one's not a threat at all. Let's go ahead and swap on over to the other fight now, where we're going to be facing off against the guy who claims to have killed the one true king. This boss, once again, has some screw mechanics when his health gets low, but as you guys can see, we are on Apocalypse, heading back to the palace courtyard. We have both the masks in. We're going to take on the one true king. Well, the one who claims to have killed the one. But whatever, either way. I'm not sure whether I picked Fei Rin or Fei Lin as the fight here, but once again, Apocalypse difficulty, tearing through the boss. Boss can damage me, but not enough to put a threat onto me. I'm able to out heal anything that he really does, and if I throw in 1 to 2 dodges, even his most damaging effects allow me to dodge just enough to be able to get out of the danger zones and heal up enough to survive the fights. So as you guys can see, this build works perfect on Apocalypse bosses for those who needed that, and hopefully you guys enjoy the build. Let me know what you prefer for your build of this down below in the comments. I know everyone has their own preferences, and what archetypes you prefer to use the most. And thank you guys so much for watching.